It is March 29th, 2023, and we are at University of Florida, Marianna's research site looking at annual ryegrass trials. These were planted November 4th, and the first harvest was in February the 6th. So that's about 90 days after planting. And the second harvest was the 15th of March, about 2 weeks ago. So what we're looking at is regrowth after the second harvest, and approximately four and a half months after planting. So we're just going to look at these highlighted varieties here. In front of me is Baqueno on the left, Dexter on the right. Dexter is a later maturing variety. Baqueno has already started to get a bit into the reproductive mode. You can see that there's some more seed head. The stems it's more stemmy here, whereas Dexter, you still see quite a bit of vegetative growth and limited stem activity. Next ones that we're going to look at are FrostProof and Trinova side by side. FrostProof is a diploid. It's known to be very upright. It's typically an early to medium variety, and what this shows is that although it is an early variety, it shows that the regrowth is quite good. The Trinova is very leafy right now, and yeah, you can see it's starting to be a bit vegetative as well. FrostProof, once again, that trait of being real upright is looking great for going into the third cutting. Behind it, GrazeKeeper on the left and Rapido on the right. And now this is an interesting contrast. GrazeKeeper is also a very late variety. Rapido is an early variety. And what it looks like on the Rapido is it looks like the Rapido has played out much more than some of the other varieties. And that can be a very positive trait for those who need an early variety that does get done and plays out early in the season. The GrazeKeeper, again, would be on the opposite end of the spectrum. GrazeKeeper is much more leafy variety, similar to Dexter, and we see very little stem activity, whereas Rapido is having a slower time recovering because it is much more in the reproductive stage. Behind it are two really mid-maturing varieties. These are Green Dragon and Mantis, and as a whole they would definitely look to be in the general pack of varieties that we would expect to be at their prime in this cutting cycle. Mantis is on the right, Green Dragon on the left. Green Dragon is known to have very wide blades, and there's an example of a Green Dragon leaf blade. You can see there's the Green Dragon versus a Mantis, and that's just typical. This variety is just a very wide bladed variety. Now it seems like it puts its energy on those wide blades. It is not one that is very dense at the crown. So for application purposes, we would want to see Green Dragon be used in an area where it can thrive being upright, and there may be an area where maybe have other varieties mixed with it, or it's planted something other than a spaced planting like that. The last one to show is Halsey, and And Halsey is actually an intermediate. It's not really an annual ryegrass. It will actually go beyond 1 year given the right climate. And so right now Halsey is not interested in throwing seed heads at all. And you can see it's quite vegetative. And you can see it does a great job covering a canopy. So that's a quick snapshot of some varieties from Smith Seed here from the University of Florida.